Time we will go back to Australia when we get developments there, but in this country, the Senate working a rare Saturday session, voting and passing a spending bill to keep the government running. Republican Senators Ted Cruz and Mike Lee surprising many when they forced a vote on the president's executive action on immigration.
Tonight, both Democrats and Republicans will have the opportunity to show America whether they stand with a president who is defying the will of the voters or with the millions of Americans who want a safe and legal immigration system. If you believe President Obama's amnesty is unconstitutional, vote yes. If you believe President Obama's amnesty is consistent with the Constitution, then vote no.
In the end, that effort failed. Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah is a member of both the Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. And, sir, good morning to you. You were partnered to Senator Cruz on this. Was it worth it, Senator?
Yes, it's always worth it when you stand behind the American people who want to make sure that these things are being voted on. When we have a president who engages in acts of lawlessness and behaves as if he were a government of one, it's always worth it to stand up for the American people and get a vote on whether or not the president should have taken that action.
Just clarify, your opposition is based on what?
Okay, so my opposition to the underlying spending bill had to do with the fact that this was a 1,600-plus page bill that was prepared in secret behind closed doors. It was never subjected to an open review and amendment process in any committee, and we didn't have any amendment process on the floor of the United States Senate or the floor of the House of Representatives. And so we thought that we should have at least one vote on some amendment, on some option somewhere, to allow senators to signal their opposition to what the president was doing.
You know, you took heat from both sides, right? I mean, you expected it from Democrats. Maybe you didn't expect it so much from the Republican side. They argued it was a stunt, and I know you've heard that before, but what would you say to them, your colleagues specifically as Republicans?
Look, this isn't a stunt, and when we're being asked to fund a $4 trillion government, it's not too much to ask to expect senators to work through the weekend, rather than recessing for 72 hours before getting back to their jobs.
Well, some would also argue allowed Harry Reid to bring up nominees, otherwise would not get a vote.
That's not true. That's not true. Look, this is an outgoing Democratic Senate Majority Leader. It would have been political malpractice for him to adjourn for the year without getting these things through. I can guarantee you, Bill, not one person will be confirmed as a result of this that would not otherwise have been confirmed.
That includes the Surgeon General?
Correct.
So what happens with the new majority in January, specifically on immigration, which was your issue on Saturday?
Okay, so in February, the funding for the Department of Homeland Security, which is in charge of implementing and enforcing our immigration laws, including the president's recent program on this, will run out of funding. And so the hope and the expectation is that when we get back at the beginning of next year, we will unroll a plan to attach a spending limitation to any spending bill that we pass for that department that would restrict the president from his ability to engage in this unlawful executive.
So final question.
Program.
Ted Cruz said he wants to see what the new leadership will do on this issue. I imagine you want to see that as well. What do you believe specifically Mitch McConnell is prepared for on this? And likewise in the House, Speaker John Boehner.
Well, look, I don't know. I make it a point never to speak for any of my colleagues, and certainly not for the Senate Majority Leader. But I do believe and I do expect, and I think most of our party's base and membership expects that we will do something meaningful to impose a limitation, a spending limitation on the president's ability to implement this program.
Okay, I guess we'll put that on hold until 2015. Senator, we've got some breaking news. I know you're well aware of it. Thank you for your time, though. Mike Lee, Republican from Utah. Appreciate it. Thanks.